You can be fully convinced you are right and still be misaligned. Beloved, welcome to Sunday's Talk, and thank you for joining me. Thank you for continuing to invest in your healing, in your growth, and in your becoming. Let me ask you this question. Are you a host to God or a hostage to your ego? And don't answer that quickly, beloved. Don't answer that from intention. Don't answer that from who you believe yourself to be. I want you to answer that from your life, from your patterns, from your reactions, from the way you show up when life pressures you, when you're challenged, when you're triggered, when you feel unseen, unheard, and misunderstood. Because, beloved, there is a difference between what we say leads us and what is actually governing our lives. And if we are honest and transparent, many of us are not being led. We are being driven. Driven by fear, driven by insecurity, driven by the need to prove, to protect, and to hold on. And what makes this so dangerous is that it doesn't feel like control. It feels like you. And that is why you don't question it. Because it sounds like your voice, it feels like your truth. It justifies your reactions. It defends your perspective. Beloved, ego does not introduce itself as ego. It introduces itself as identity. So you don't examine it. You follow it. You build from it. You live from it. And in a way, you become it. And slowly over time, you are then bound to it. Not all at once, moment by moment. Every time you react without reflection, every time you defend without examining, every time you allow your emotions to become your authority, you are reinforcing it. You strengthen its voice, its power, until one day the very thing that was built to protect you becomes the very thing that isolates you, straining your relationships, and now you push people away that were meant to love you well, distorting how you experience love. And now healthy love feels unfamiliar. Why? Because it does not match your wounds, making you feel misunderstood while you are unwilling to be seen, keeping you guarded while you say you want connection. Beloved, that is not freedom. That is survival dressed up as identity. And it goes even deeper than that, because ego doesn't just distort how you respond. It distorts how you see yourself and the world. You hear rejection where there is correction. And now you resist the very thing that was sent in your life to refine you. You feel attacked where there is accountability. And now you protect the very patterns that is keeping you stuck and bound to your ego. You experience distance where there is actually an invitation to grow. And now you withdraw instead of becoming. So now you are not reacting to truth, beloved. You are reacting to a version of truth that your wounds have rewritten. And that will keep you isolated, not because people don't care, but because ego will not allow you to experience them clearly. And let me share this with you. Let me make this real. Because I'm not speaking from theory. I am speaking from what I've grown to learn in my own life, through my own lived experiences. You see, there was a time in my life where ego was leading everything. Not parts of me, everything. I needed to be seen. And not just seen. You see, I felt invisible if I wasn't. I needed to be validated because without it, I questioned my worth in real time. I needed to feel like I mattered because deep down, I was afraid I didn't. Afraid of being overlooked. I was afraid of not being chosen. Afraid of who I was without performing, without putting on the mask. Feeling like that was not enough. So what did I do? I overcompensated. I walked into rooms already performing, loud. I reacted fast. I spoke fast. I assumed fast. I shut down fast and called it discernment. I led with what I had. My presence, my position, my resources. I had a short temper, quick to react, quick to offend, quick to speak before I even understood what I was feeling. But here's the truth, beloved. You see, I wasn't responding to people. I was responding to my wounds, my pain. And ego gave me a way to protect what I've never healed, what I never faced, what I kept avoiding. And even now, I have to remain aware because ego does not disappear. Ego adapts. It waits for the moment you're tired, for the moment you feel overlooked, for the moment something hits your insecurities just right, and it steps back in when you're triggered, wanting to take authority. And if you are not aware of it, it will. You see, beloved, the book of wisdom reads this, and I quote. It reads, "There is a way that seems right to a person, but its end leads somewhere they never attended." And that means some of what you've been calling discernment may actually be distortion. You see, you can feel right and justify it, defend it, and still be misaligned because ego doesn't feel wrong. It feels justified. So now the real question becomes this, beloved. If that is what it looks like to be a hostage, then my God, what does it actually mean to be a host to God? Beloved, being a host to God is not about perfection. It is about surrender. And not the kind of surrender that makes you smaller. I'm talking about the kind that makes you honest and aware. It is the decision that you are no longer the highest authority in your life. That even when something feels right, you are willing to pause and ask, is this aligned or is this just familiar? Because every feeling is real, but not every feeling is true. You see, ego rushes while God waits. Ego defends, God reveals. Ego needs to be right. God is willing to be refined. And being a host to God means you learn how to sit in that tension. The tensions of feeling something strongly, but choosing something differently. It means you don't trust your first reaction. You examine it. You don't immediately speak. You pause. You don't just feel, you discern. You see, being a host to God shows up in real moments. It's how you respond when someone misunderstands you and you have the perfect words to correct them, but you choose clarity over control. It's how you show up when you feel disrespected, and instead of reacting from offense, you respond from alignment. It's how you carry yourself when you are not acknowledged, not affirmed, not chosen, and you don't collapse into insecurity or perform for validation. It's how you respond when God feels silent and your ego is telling you to take back control again. That is where hosting God becomes real, beloved. Not in comfort, in conflict. Not when it's easy, when it costs you something, because it will cost you, beloved. It will cost you the need to be right. It will cost you the need to be seen in a certain way. It will cost you the version of you that survived by controlling everything. And it will ask you to grieve that version of yourself. The version that performed, the version that protected, the version that learned how to survive but never learned how to be free. How to live and not just exist. But when you become a host to God, something shifts in your spirit, in your soul, in your mind. You create space. And in that space, you are no longer being pulled by every emotion. You are not suppressing what you feel. You are no longer submitting to it. You can feel it, but you don't become it. You can experience it, but you don't let it lead you. And that is where your power changes, where the dynamics shift. Because now you are not living from impulse. You are living from intention. You are no longer reacting to life. You are responding from alignment. And over time, that changes everything. And I mean everything. And as I close, beloved, I leave you with this Sunday offering. I call it the aware practice. A, acknowledge, is this even truth? This might be fear wanting to take control. This is ego. W, wait, pause, because ego needs speed. A, ask, what am I protecting right now? Is this aligned or is this familiar? R, realign. Choose based on who you are becoming, not what you feel in the moment. And then E, execute. Move with intention, not perfection, but with consciousness, awareness. Beloved, this is the work. Not removing ego, but no longer allowing it to lead you. So before your next reaction, just pause. Think about your last reaction. Not what you said, but what led you. Who was leading you in that moment? And if you're honest, you didn't pause because you wanted to be right. You didn't want truth. And if you are honest with yourself, beloved, you already know. The question is, what are you going to do with what you see and have learned now? Because awareness without change is agreement. And if you don't like what you're experiencing, you don't need a new life. You need a new leader within you. And you can either be a host to God are a hostage to your ego. And whatever is leading you is also forming you. And the life you are living right now is revealing who is in charge. Is it God or your ego? Amen and amen. Beloved, I want to thank you for joining me on today. Until next time, peace be with you, and I love you to life. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. God bless.